all's well, I hope.
Je voulais vous parler de la nuit que nous avons passée ensemble.
I was going to say the very same thing, as soon as I worked up my courage a little. I can't recall the last time I shared so much with someone. Maybe I never did before. It meant a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. And that was before the kiss.
Cette nuit compte beaucoup à mes yeux. J'espère qu'il y en aura beaucoup d'autres comme ça.
I hope so too. Though I'm not sure what kind of courtship will be afforded, given all that we're facing. But if you want to see where this goes, I do as well.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. I was just settling in and reviewing my latest findings. Mind flayers, cultists, and, of course, your esteemed company.
Que savez-vous sur les flagelleurs mentaux?
Why, I'm practically an expert. They've tentacles, you know. Quite shocking. The druid Halson had some kind of mind flare specimen in a jar in his quarters. A replica, no doubt, but truly fascinating to see up close.
J'en ai déjà affronté un.
Here, on the Sword Coast. Impossible.
Non seulement j'ai déjà rencontré un flagelleur mental, mais je l'ai tué.
That can't be.
Et j'ai également été infecté par un de leurs parasites.
That's quite impossible. You'd have undergone ceramorphosis by now.
Si seulement votre incrédulité avait le pouvoir d'altérer la réalité.
If what you say were true, you'd be a mind flayer by now. You? Infected by a mind flayer? Ridiculous. Isn't it?
Examinez-moi si vous ne me croyez pas. Comme ça, vous verrez par vous-même.
Perhaps that's for the best. I'd be irresponsible not to debunk such a strange claim. If I just peer in your eye, I could quickly... Oh, my dear sweet gods!
Vous voulez bien arrêter d'hurler? Vous pouvez m'aider?
I mean, yes. I suppose I can. I'll need to research the particulars, however. Give me a bit of time, and I'll have this little issue sorted.
Oakfather's blessings to you.
Je m'interroge. Comment se fait-il que vous en sachiez autant sur ce parasite?
I studied one up close. Closer than most would care to be to those things. A drow attacked me and I defended myself. Afterwards, I was able to examine the tadpole that emerged. Hideous, but fascinating. Like nothing else in nature, I'm glad to say.
Cette malédiction des ombres dont vous m'avez parlé, elle ne peut pas être si terrible que ça, si?
It's had the whole region around Moonrise Towers in a chokehold of darkness and despair for years now. Those who remained are shadow-cast. If you don't die at their hands, then you become one of them. We have to get to Moonrise, but the less time we spend in its blighted surrounds, the better.
Sinon, comment ça se passe pour vous au camp?
Wonderfully. If I'm honest, the grove was too comfortable for my tastes. I felt removed from nature. I'll miss my books, but I can find all the wisdom they contain out here, firsthand.
Si je peux faire quoi que ce soit pour réduire encore votre confort, dites-le moi surtout.
I'm sure something will come to me, given time.
You'll have to speak slowly. I'm finding it quite difficult to concentrate with my condition gnawing at my insides like a teething displacer kitten.
Je crois avoir en ma possession un artefact magique qui devrait vous intéresser.
That is most gratifying to hear. May I? Thank you. That hit the spot. I can feel it work. The magic, it's like a lullaby that sings to sleep the demon inside. A metaphorical demon, I haste to point out, but no less dangerous. And no less bound to wake up again to continue its ravages. Such is the nature of all monsters.
Je suis ravi que vous alliez mieux. Votre situation semble inconfortable, c'est le moins qu'on puisse dire.
Oh, it's not so bad once you get used to it. And, on the plus side, my tower in Waterdeep has never been so free of clutter. Sincerely, though, I understand I ask a lot from you with few answers in return. But in time, all will be told.
Ne vous en faites pas pour ça, c'est avec plaisir.
My lord, I bow to your boundless kindness.
Smoke. Something's burning.
He of the unsleeping eyes, grant me the might to carry this burden. Grant me the faith to face darkness without fear.
Par tous les diables, qu'est-ce qui a bien pu se passer ici?
A massacre. Drow and goblins slaughtered the lot. Please, just leave me be.
Keep pushing! Duke Ravengard could be inside. On count of 3. 1, 2.
Ravengard? He's here.
Yes! Now make yourself useful! Push, damn it! Push!
Vous avez entendu, Will? Entrez là-dedans.
Inside! Hurry! We don't have much time! In here! In here! I'd love to, thanks.
Come! I'm afraid proper thanks must wait. Fresh air. At last.
Councillor Floric, are you all right?
Well, by the living gods. I couldn't have asked for a finer savior. Scorched throat. A few hairs singed off. Nothing a bit of time and fresh air can't cure. Gauntlet, a new duty calls. Drow have taken Grand Duke Alder Ravengard westward, if my eyes and ears can be believed. Report to the Manip and send for reinforcements. We must find the Duke. On your command, Councillor.
No, it can't be. You mean they've taken my...
Yes, Will. The Drow have your father.
Gardecorbeau? Ce nom ne me dit rien.
He is the great champion of the council, commander of the Flaming Fist, the binding force holding Baldur's Gate together. Without him, the city faces collapse. In fact, I fear that may have been the intention of those who abducted him. Will, you must hold little love for your father. But please, find him and return him to the city.
Trust us to see it through, Counselor.
Le culte de l'absolu est basé autour de Haute-Lune. C'est là que le duc a dû être amené.
Moonrise Towers, along the old road, that place is cursed. Few could survive there, unless darker forces are at work. This was no random attack. The Grand Duke was their target.
Je vais me lancer à la recherche du duc Gardecorbeau.
Thank you. When the Grand Duke returns to the city, he'll hail his only son, a hero. Approach the towers with care. The land itself has been swallowed in shadow. I will seek reinforcements and join you when I can. Remember, Will, courage is found in the battle against fear, not in the defeat of it.
So Father said. I won't soon forget.
Fist to work.
Control.
Just shit. You can put distance between you and yesterday, but you'll never leave it fully behind. Father's words. Hard to argue with them. Floric spoke true. I'm a Grand Duke's son.
Not just a Grand Duke. Ravengard has more power and influence than anyone.
Alors le choix est clair. Nous devons sauver le duc Gardecorbeau.
Thank you. That means a lot. But I wonder, what makes a Duke of Baldur's Gate so interesting to the Drow? Even the houses of Men's Oberanzen would have little use for my father. No, this is no Drow plot. These absolute nutters, these true souls are behind his abduction. His absence alone will sow chaos in the city. If they were to infect him, he could lead Baldur's Gate to ruin. All the more reason to find him. The Absolute has seized not just my father, but the future of the Sword Coast.
Vous ne devriez pas me cacher ce genre de choses, Will.
I know, and you're right. When I look into a mirror, I see two faces. I see the Blade of Frontiers, a man hunting the fiends who prey on the weak and claw at the coast. And I see Will Ravengard, a memory of a memory, a man who belongs to the past. I wanted you to know the Blade, not the shadow he left behind.
Parlons d'autre chose.
I'm all for it.
Qu'est-ce que ça fait d'être le fils d'un grand-duc?
Not so enchanting as you'd think. The Portiers, the Caldwells, they were the blue bloods hosting the fancy balls and drinking from gold goblets. Father's the son of a blacksmith, born with barely a coin in the coffers. He made a name for himself among the Flaming Fist. Brave as Baldurin, stubborn as a deep Rothay. Daring, outspoken, but hardly posh. I spent more time dueling with Father than I did rubbing elbows with lords. Not to say I didn't develop a taste for good wine and the talent for courtly dance.
Et maintenant, vous êtes l'épée des confins. Sacré changement, vous ne trouvez pas?
Yes and no. Father taught me the 4 pillars of power. Courage, insight, strategy, justice. He reckoned I'd follow in his footsteps. First as a fist marshal, then as a duke. Vanquish evil, maintain order, save the world. But a duke makes bedfellows with more monsters than he slays. Father called it diplomacy. I called it hypocrisy. In the frontiers, there is no posturing, no diplomacy. I slay monsters, I don't consort with them. Well, not when I can avoid it.
Hellsfire. She's coming.
Will, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
God damn it. Anyone but her.
Par tous les diables, qui êtes-vous?
Will, you absolute stinker. You kept me a secret? Time to let the Hellcat out of the bag. Call me Mizora. I'm Will's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Will. But Karlak's still breathing.
I've taken more pleasant shits than you, Mizora. And at least those can be buried after.
That's no kind of talk for a lady. By the way, Karlak, Zariel sends her regards.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Clause G, Section 9. Target shall be limited to the infernal, the demonic, the heartless, and the soulless.
Karlak meets the criteria by virtue of having no heart.
Ne vous avisez pas de faire du mal à Karlach.
Don't you worry. That ship has long sailed the Styx. But a defiant pup must still pay his price. To wit.
Will burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms.
Get used to the new form, pet.
There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo.
Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade.
Karlak, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you. Oh, and Will, don't forget, our pact still stands. Ta-ta.
I'll be honest, soldier. I'm reeling. Will hardly knows me, but he chose my life over his. Been a long time since someone stuck their neck out for me like that.
C'est quelqu'un de bien. Peut-être le meilleur d'entre nous.
You can say that again. When he was chasing me through Avernus, I thought he was just another sad merc. How wrong I was.
God's damn her straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Mizora made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, she said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not Zariel's victims. Not innocent tieflings.
Warlock pacts tend to be unforgiving from what you know of them. Will was lucky he didn't face a more severe punishment.
À quoi vous attendiez-vous? C'est une diablesse, et les habitants des enfers ne sont pas connus pour leur honnêteté.
All these years. You'd think it's a lesson I'd have well learned. It's Mizora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch blasts. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds. But I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast.
Laissez-moi deviner. C'est ce pacte qui a causé cette brouille entre votre père et vous?
It's not unrelated. I wish I could tell you more. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mizora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mizora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word. Well met.
Vous feriez bien de trouver un moyen de résilier ce pacte.
A possibility that's kept me awake countless nights. But I don't have a clue where to start, other than play her games and play by the rules. That's the only language devils listen to.
On ne pourrait pas l'attaquer dès qu'elle apparaîtra, la prochaine fois qu'elle viendra?
We can have all for it, but it won't so much as chip one of her nailed claws. She'll escape to the hells, and if we succeeded, my life would be taken in exchange. My contract is very clear. I can bring Mizora no harm. She'll have to let me out of my pact willingly. The only way out is if I can out-bargain her. We're standing here with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the worms in our heads.
Nous pouvons la battre si nous utilisons nos 2 larves ensemble.
We can. I'm sure of it. How glad I am that you see me as more than my patron's pet.